Hey, howdy, and welcome all to the Big and Right Podcast. My name is Nick. This here next to me is James,
Howdy.
and we're in his apartment
We are.
because he has to watch his child.
I do. Apparently, you can't just let a
Because
dog watch a kid. Your
you
wife
can't-
gets mad.
You can't just figure it out. We have an episode to shoot, and this is our first episode back on video,
Yeah.
first episode back on YouTube, and we have to do it like a bunch of scrubs in
Yeah.
your. We have a
You-
wonderul studio, and you've got a bunch of
Yeah,
scrubs.
you have
doing it in
no
your
idea how
apartment.
much I had to actually get some stuff together. It took a long time.
I mean, you got the flag. You got to look.
It's
all
there.
right.
It's there.
Look good. Really, they come for the talent, which is me.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
Not for the setup, which is you.
Yeah, well, not this week.
But friends, we've got a lot left to talk to. We are, first of all, very excited to be back on video, back on YouTube, and now you can like, you can subscribe, you can ring the bell, you can leave a comment, you can share, and we want you to do all that.
And
Yes.
you can share.
Yeah, and you can share. I said share
well,
originally.
did you say you could share?
I said you could share.
Okay.
Right?
I wasn't paying attention because I usually zone out whenever you're talking.
Really helps out. We are very excited to be back doing it on the live platforms.
We're still going to be on Spotify.
Still going to be on Spotify for those of you guys who are Spotify listeners. But we're really, really excited to be back on YouTube to be talking about Texas news and Texas politics and all the good things that happen in Texas. But unfortunately, we're going to start today. We're going to talk about a not so good thing that happened in Texas. This is just a further development on the Uvalde shooting. Now,
Dude, once you mentioned that, I'm sorry to break you up. I just
Sure.
started getting goosebumps. Like it's just such a terrible story. My body's like, I don't even want to talk about it. But we got to talk about it.
To be honest, I'm sick of talking about it.
I am too,
We've
but
been
there's
talking
so
about-
much crap that keeps popping out,
talking
popping
about
out,
it
popping
forever.
out.
And this is just like the level of incompetence here is
Yeah.
just tragic. I mean, it's almost as tragic as the actual events, right? Because these dead kids could have been prevented if certain things had gone right, rather than just being totally botched. But
By the chief
Yeah.
of the school.
and now we learn why. And this is a good policy prescription.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't use school officers as a demotion.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. It
Right,
shouldn't
it-
be like a retirement
It
job.
feels like
no.
it's like, hey, if you can't run the beat, we're going to send you to the school.
No.
No, and that's
Same level.
yeah, that's apparently or higher even, right? But this is apparently what happened to Chief Arredondo, right? Pete Arredondo at Uvalde, Texas, was Robb Elementary, had been demoted and kicked. I guess not really kicked out, right? But
He was demoted,
he'd been
and then
demoted,
he left,
yeah.
and then he went to another thing, and then he came to Uvalde.
So this guy was basically just a failed cop, right? He
Yeah.
just went to different places, didn't work well with others,
And
didn't qualify for the things that he was supposed to be doing, and so they sent him to a school.
Right, and don't forget, the report that our Texas legislator did an investigation on ended up saying that this man failed to perform or to transfer to another person the role of incident commander. Because that was the biggest thing when we first talked about the story.
Yep.
Was, I'm not sure if I'm incident commander.
Then who is?
You are. You're
Yeah.
first in the scene. You are. Also, you're the chief in your small jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So why are you not?
And if you
incident
don't
commander?
think you are incident commander, you better be able to tell me who you think
Yeah.
is incident commander.
Speak up.
Yeah. This is the thing. Let's assume that Arredondo for whatever reason, wasn't supposed to be the incident commander.
Yeah.
Right? By every indication, he was.
Yeah.
But even if I'm just a regular, like, beat cop, first year on the job,
Yeah.
and I get there and I say, well, I wasn't the incident commander, I could tell you who was, or I
Yeah.
could tell you at least who I thought was.
Right. I can tell you my chain
Yeah.
of command.
Exactly. And so if you, Arredondo, can't tell me that you were the incident commander, you better be telling me who you thought was in charge.
Yeah.
Because-
it's BS. Like, I mean, I think we need to kind of go a little bit through about what it was. He was reassigned from assistant chief to commander in 2014. And 2 days later, the Webb County employee written demotion on his worksheet. Then in 2017, took a role in Laredo as a school district police captain. Oh, another police captain. Well, when he applied for a position there, he also mentioned and highlighted that his role in hostage negotiation was impeccable. Turns out he lied. Because even the sheriff from Webb County, who's still trying to protect him, I don't know why, He said, well, he may have exaggerated a bit. You know what exaggerated a bit means, Nick?
Means slightly.
Oh,
Just a little-
is it the truth?
No.
Oh, it's called a lie. Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Exaggerated.
It's a
bit.
lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Harvard. Did you actually go? Well, I drove past it, so I went.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't go. Stop.
The thing is, I think this ultimately comes down to something that you said when we discussed this. And this might have been the first or second time that we actually discussed the Uvalde shooting. But I remember you saying, is there good security at a bank? Obviously, the answer is yes. Why? Because our money is valuable to us, right? So there should be good security. If our money is valuable, how much more valuable are our kids? And we don't treat it that way. When it's a situation that you're being basically sent to schools, and I mean, I'll have to discuss because I'm speculating based on this article, right?
Yeah.
This article came out in ABC. All the links will be in the description, by the way. But based on this, it's looking like they just kind of sent him to the schools, right? Sent him to
He's like a backup quarterback.
Yeah, because
no one really wants you, but you can fill a role. You might be able to teach something, and I mean, you're not entirely terrible. So here you go. Again, I'm with you. Wrong position to do that for.
Yeah.
This is kids. This is a school. But who cares?
I mean,
no one cares until crap like this happens.
You send him down the chain, you make him a traffic cop or something like that. That's one thing.
Oh yeah, make him a meter maid.
But putting him in a school is just not a good decision. I think that our criteria for the officers that we put in charge of protecting our schools need to be of the top quality, right? That needs to be something that you make after that needs to be a promotion, not a demotion, right? If you're a school officer, people need to be looking at you going, man, that guy's got a great gig. Well, he's a great cop, right? That's not what we have here. What we have is some guy that just sort of bounced around from place to place because he couldn't work well with any other situation, so they put him in schools.
And he lied in the last one.
And he lied, right?
Yeah.
So the lie
because in 2020 is when he actually went to Uvalde.
But the lie is a different issue, right? The lie is totally on Arredondo, right? Because if you lie, that's not really the system's fault. You lied.
But
right?
however, isn't it kind of the system's fault? Don't you do any kind of background check? I mean, this is a cop. This isn't working at a grocery store. This is a cop. You didn't bother calling their chief going, hey, he mentioned this. Could you tell me a few instances? I mean, the guy was about to kill his lizard and he told him don't, and then he didn't. So I guess he has negotiations with the hostages?
Yeah.
That's not at all what we're thinking.
Yeah, that's not what we're
I think he fibbed a little bit. Yeah, us too. No.
Well.
But, no background check. Why not a background check? I mean, it's a job. We're not talking about the foolish things they're trying to do, all these checks for, more checks for guns. I'm all for a background check to own a gun because I don't want a crazy person having a gun. I want someone who's a law-abiding citizen. Yeah. But this is a cop.
Yeah.
And you do nothing. And if you do, you might want to start checking yourself because if I'm a parent in Uvalde that lost a child, I'm going to start looking at you so that you're also negligent because you allowed this to happen to allow him to even be hired. Maybe it's too far gone. Who knows? But again, you have a little bit of this blood on your hands, in my opinion. Yeah. Is that too far?
No, he certainly does, but I'm specifically talking about where he lied on his application, right? That part's on him. That's not on the system. But clearly the system is broken when it's even an option to send this guy to a school.
Yeah, no.
Right? Honestly, this guy should be fired. I think we should have higher.
I'm really wondering why he's not fired yet.
I think we should pay police officers more, and I think it should be way more difficult to be a police officer.
Oh yeah.
I think you should have to go through longer training. I think you should have to pass. You should be like absolutely above the what's the word I'm looking for? Above reproach, right?
Yeah.
You should be the highest quality officer, and you should be the best at your job, and we should pay you for that, right? That's what I think. But I certainly don't think that if you're bad at your job, you get to be put at a school, right? You should be fired, honestly. If you're
not up to snuff, you're not up to snuff. It's all right. Maybe you're good at something else. Bagging some groceries
for sure. But this ultimately
running an escape room because you're obviously trying to escape your responsibilities.
That's so dumb. I'm gonna try being serious because you clearly can't do funny. Listen. See, now your dumb joke is stuck in my head and I can't get to what I was going to say.
Because it's such a good joke.
The reason why we keep talking about this, and I know that we're beating a dead horse, we've talked about Uvalde over and over and over again, is because, friends, this can't happen again. We need to do whatever we can to make sure that our schools are more secure and that the people that are taking care of our schools and protecting our schools are well qualified for the job. Clearly they're not, or clearly this officer wasn't. we just can't let
the
this
thing
happen
is, just make this a learning opportunity.
again.
As you can't change the past, you can't change a horrible situation, but learn from it. And what you've learned from it, hopefully, is we're gonna start background checking the crap out of these guys, and not hiring cowards.
What I don't want to hear is, well, the good guy with the gun is a myth because this was ineffective. No, this guy was ineffective. But the reality is, we need to have people with guns. We need to have police officers because there's going to be crime. Laws don't take away crime. Laws lay out where the line is, but people are going to break the law, right?
Yeah.
If you say, well, we'll make a law, people who are going to break the law are going to break the law, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing. I mean, that's what we're seeing with this situation in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got a bunch of women who are calling onto. I don't know if it's a hotline or if it's, but they're calling this program that's based out of Mexico.
Yes.
In order to.
What's the name of it again?
In order to have abortions, right? It's called Necesito Abortar México. You don't need to say it like that with that accent. It is Necesito Abortar Mexico.
What does that mean, Mr. Spanish?
That means I need to abort Mexico.
Oh, I'm for that.
Yeah, aborting Mexico.
No, just put the line there too.
That's okay. There should be a comma in there, right? Necesito abortar Mexico division, right?
You had a guy who had like 3 weeks of Spanish. He was like, I know Spanish. And it's like, no, you clearly missed like connotations.
But it literally means I need to abort Mexico.
Yeah. I love how this article freaking starts out.
Okay.
Because it's so woke from the start. I'm just like, ridiculous. Man, you didn't even wait.
Yeah.
With the constitutional right to abortion in the United States eliminated. What? If it's in the Constitution, it can't be eliminated. It has to be, taken out or amended with another amendment.
Dobbs did not take a right away. Dobbs acknowledged the fact that you never had a right in the first place. Right?
No.
But if you go through this whole article,
it's so freaking
there's
long.
some things that it's a long article. I mean, this is thousands of words. But
and
one of
just,
those, one phrase that I never saw breaking the law or subverting the law.
No.
Or killing your baby.
Yeah, this is even, a fan fiction of abortion peddling.
Controversial.
Yeah.
This is
abortion-inducing medicine that can be obtained without a prescription. In America, you need one. And they're just glorifying it the entire way through this
medication
article.
That can be obtained without a prescription, that's called drugs.
Yeah.
And if you're
outside formal medical establishment, another way of saying doctors, people who you trust because they went to some kind of, school that said, here's what you can and can't do. Here's what laws you got to abide by.
That would be like, it's like, I'm just thinking about this. You do the same thing, but instead of basically abortifacient medication, right? Or abortion pills or whatever you say. And it's, ketamine or I don't know.
It's just little PCP.
Or Percocet or benzodiazepines. It's like, you can obtain it without a prescription.
Ooh.
And it can go across borders. You're like, that's called drug smuggling. That's what you're doing.
Thank you. It's exactly when I read this whole thing, I sent it to you. I was like,
these people are drug
smuggling?
Yeah.
And we're just glorifying the entire thing.
And they're giving these people counseling over Zoom calls, essentially, right, on how to utilize these pills and how to put the abortions. And it's crazy.
And they offer their own home. It's like, and if you need to, you can stay in our house. It's like, this is so freaking weird.
The phrase is like, it's going to be it's going to put women in, it's going to put the decision back into the hands of women, right? It's going to put the power back into the hands of women.
Right, and here's how it said it, like when it calls to, talks about smuggling. They say it in many ways, but here's one I picked up on. The abortion-inducing drugs must be discreetly transported into the United States where they're only available with a prescription because it's illegal.
I was going to say.
It's smuggling.
Discreetly
Fentanyl
shipped. Is
totally horrible. This is somehow good.
Discreetly shipped.
Yeah. And the argument would be, it's like, well, it's not killing them.
Yeah,
it's killing one of them.
These lovely child brides are discreetly shipped across the border.
I don't know why you're worried
about
men
Russian called coyotes.
Yeah, I don't know why you're worried about my Russian bride. Yeah, she's 16, but she's cool with it.
Yeah, she was shipped discreetly.
Yeah, these are unregulated, though their work does overlap with medical establishment because they're pretending they're doctors.
It is insane. It is insane.
This is literally like I don't know if you remember, like years ago, is that the Hollywood doctors, like Mr. Pill, or I forget the guy's name, what they called him, but he was just like
Dr. Oz.
No. He was just freely giving out all these drugs, and turns out it's like, yeah, you're a fraud, you're a totally liar. And it's like, well, but they like me. I bet they do.
Yeah.
I would like you too if I'm a junkie and you give me drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No.
But this is a situation. These people are running a drug smuggling ring
Yeah.
and then counseling people on how to use the drugs that they're giving them in violation of the law in the state over foreign borders. And it's
Yeah.
like, but it's all good.
Right.
It's,
They're saying they want to get over the stigma
Yeah.
of the abortion. It's like, it's no stigma. It's no, you're killing something. There's no like, hey, you like to go to these kind of dance clubs and I don't. You drink and I don't. No, it's you're murdering something. It's not really a stigma. It's us going, yeah, what's in that belly? Not
Yeah.
a baby. Really?
Mhm.
Really?
And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And here's the thing: evil people are going to do evil things,
Yeah.
right? You can make the law. The Supreme Court can rule one way. Texas makes a law. People are going to violate that law, right? You're laughing. So what were you going to say?
I just saw another freaking instance of them trying to wokeify smuggling. It's like the cross-border movement. You mean smuggling? Like, come on! Like, how many euphemisms can you use? Like, just call them smugglers.
The
These
cross-border
are pill
discrete
peddlers.
packaging.
These are pill peddlers. That's all you're freaking
They say
doing.
discrete packaging like it's erectile dysfunction
Yeah.
medication. This is insane. But it goes to show. So we actually do need to talk about sort of the morality of this, right? Because if I go to now, the legal problem with this is the fact that these people are still in the United States and they're performing. First of all, they're performing abortions. They're performing abortions in the U.S.
Yes.
In the state of Texas, which is
Yes.
against the law.
Yes.
Right? You can't be doing that. But that does do something else. That does do something that we need to kind of take into account here, which is that these aren't doctors. These
No.
are women that are doing it
They
themselves.
admit themselves they're not doctors.
And the whole hold on. But the people that so the people who would be prosecuted, because we can't prosecute the people in Mexico unless they're extradited. And actually, no, sorry, that's not even the right term, because they're already in their own country, right?
Mhm.
So Mexico is not going to send people to us to prosecute and imprison.
I don't know.
But the people who would be in question here are the women themselves who are doing this.
Yeah.
And the big pro-life talking point is we're not interested in prosecuting women. We're
Yep.
interested in prosecuting doctors.
The doctors. Yep.
Well, now the doctors can't be prosecuted because they're in another country. They're not doctors, and this is being done. That no doctor is coming into contact with
No.
this woman. They're doing it themselves in the privacy
Going
of their own
around the
home.
law.
Yeah, they're going around the law.
Yeah.
Should these women be prosecuted?
I think if you obtain drugs in a foreign country and you buy them, it's called buying drugs. So, yes, it'd be the same to me as buying fentanyl from a person.
But what do you charge them with? That's the thing. Do you charge them? I mean, do you charge these women with homicide?
That's a tougher one. I'd probably stick to just simple possession of narcotics, which, I mean, still could be, this is a drug that you have to get a prescription for, so it's still going to be a felony most likely. So at least 1 or 2 years. So, okay, you win. You're also in prison.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's the part they said in here, which I was like, this seems odd. It seems like you only say this one way. They're talking about the women who getting these drugs. When they realize it can be in their hands and not in the hands of government or medical system, because they're not doctors.
Yeah.
There's going to be no stopping them. Huh.
That's true.
Wait, so hold on. So guns. If you can't figure out anything about them, or I just, steal it, buy it off the street, there's no stopping them. Huh, some stricter gun laws are gonna work. Huh? Yeah. That's kind of weird. You're kind of proving our point when it comes to that one. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Shocker. Because you don't have two thoughts. You have to have two thoughts at the same time when you're woke. You can't actually have, values. It's just an argument, and then this next one, an argument, because you can't make them go together.
But speaking of values, I want to get back to this point that I'm making about whether or not we sue the women. I
think we arrest them when we have the drug.
Well, but that's the thing, is we can't sue them with homicide, and that's our whole point, right? That's the whole reason behind the laws. The laws against abortion has nothing to do with the drugs.
Yeah.
It has to do with the fact that you're killing a human being. And now you don't have a doctor to blame.
No.
Right? It's a woman themselves. So I think they're kind of this might be an interesting case where this type of action forces the hand of state governments to say, listen, the issue that we had with the issue that we had with not suing women, suing the doctors was an issue of, I got this fun legal language for you, mens rea. Right?
Oh,
It's fun
you
little
Googled
legal
that,
language
didn't you?
there. I did. I did. I am not ashamed, right? But mens rea basically just means like knowledge and From what I mean, it
continue.
means knowledge and intent, right? Is kind of what it's talking about.
Mental state, but
yeah, it's a certain mental state, right? Well, I don't know what the actual Latin means.
Swing and a miss.
I don't know what the actual Latin means, but you just watched me flounder. You explain it, right?
I just did.
This
mental state.
Yeah, but you have to have the right mental state. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, knowingly, intentionally.
You have to knowingly and intentionally do it. You can't make the argument that you're being duped if you're going online and finding these Mexican lesbians who are not doctors, who are going to discreetly ship, aka smuggle pills across the border to you and give this stuff. There's no more. Well, I was,
What if you get harmed as the woman?
What do you mean? What if I get harmed as the woman?
I took the pill. I thought it was legit. Turns out it was cut.
Sorry.
That's the thing. Like, you're taking a gamble. You have no flipping idea when it comes to these pills that aren't from a doctor. And yes, I'm for a lot of things being legal when it comes to quote unquote drugs. But when it comes to prescription, narcotics, opioids, whatever, I want to trust where it's coming from. Because, I mean, this guy is a shady guy. You buy it from him, you slip him a 20, however much pills cost. I have no for you. Let's just say it's 20, okay? Slip him a 20, and you take it and you go home. That guy was just hanging out in an alley, looking around, making sure no one's watching him. Not the most trustworthy fella.
Yeah.
And he told you his name is Wiz for Wizard of Pills. Just call me Wiz. Yeah, go report on Wiz. You never find him ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is so ridiculous. You wouldn't do this in any other circumstance, but you're so desperate to give your baby to Moloch. You just have to kill it in order to get this worldly gain of prosperity that they've promised you. Yeah. Just build some more widgets, go back in that factory. No, don't take care of yourself. Don't become a better person. Just keep making money for the man, and you'll do the best person you can of this world and this world only.
Yeah. So Nick runs Texas.
I've never allowed that. I've never given away my crown.
I think we say okay. Right, if what this does is legally force our hand is to say, listen, there's nobody that we can charge with homicide, which is what we're talking about here, right? Yeah. The reason why you don't commit an abortion after 6 weeks in Texas, because it's a matter of taking another human life. It's a matter of homicide.
Correct.
And previously we're saying we're going to charge the doctors, right? We're going to sue the doctors, but doctors not involved anymore. So this is pressing the issue of, well, you said you weren't gonna prosecute women. How dedicated are you to that? I think it's fine if we just say, not that much.
Yeah.
We're just,
that was the beginning step.
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't go to a doctor and there's no doctor to prosecute, you're up, Missy. Yeah. Right? I think, I legitimately, at
sorry,
that point,
I keep going back and forth. I'm literally checking on my son's little video monitor.
It's all good. At that point, I think.
Sorry, my leash.
And it's not even, granted. And it's not even that, well, it's not even that you would sue women in all circumstances. It's that if you're doing this and you can't even make the case that you were subdued into it, or you were seduced into it, that's the word I'm looking for, seduced into it by the doctor, sorry, it's on you, man.
Well, I think I have a way to also solve this, and I'm going to take my crown back and have James run Texas like it's supposed to be. That's where the world makes sense.
You don't even have your glasses. What are you even talking about?
I can go get them. I'm at my house. Here's the easiest way to stop this issue. 1, finish the flipping wall. 2,
Biden's doing that. We were talking about that.
In Arizona, not in Texas. Shocker. 2, get a lawn chair. Look at your magnificent wall. You're done. You're done. Just do that. And you'll stop a lot of these. Because it's really hard to smuggle if the ports of entry are very narrow.
These easy steps. 1, build the wall. Those are the easy steps.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right?
Yeah. 2, C1.
Yeah, C1. But or another option, ship them to New York or DC.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
Oh.
Right? That's what we should do. We should say, we're going to send, I mean, I know that Texas can't do this because Texas can't declare war, but Texas says we're going to send Texas Delta Force into Mexico, and we're going to capture these women, and we're going to send them to New York,
Yeah.
which is a greater punishment than
Which
living
we've
in
been
Mexico.
doing.
Exactly, which is what we've been doing. But
To
this is
illegal immigrants.
yes.
I really hate they say migrants all the time. Even Fox News is starting to say to migrants. I'm like, why are you woking it up? It is illegal immigrants.
This is causing a feud,
Oh,
a political
a whole
war.
tiffy.
Yeah, between Greg Abbott and was it? It's not Muriel Bowser. It's
Mayor Eric
it's
Adams
Eric Adams.
of
Yes,
New York
Eric Adams
City.
in New York.
I love how this one starts out as well.
I just keep forgetting who was the last mayor of New York that got ousted.
I want to say no, it's not him.
Bill de Blasio.
It was de Blasio.
Yeah,
I was going
Bill
to
de
say I was
Blasio.
going to say the governor.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Is Bill de Blasio. I'm
yeah.
like, that's not Bill de Blasio.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when a state doesn't matter, so it's hard to keep up.
Eric
But
Adams.
Abbott, here's how they phrase it. The synopsis is we've been sending him to D.C. as we've talked about. Now he's sending him to New York, and Adams is all in a tiffy. And the way this article says is Abbott has callously declaring New York was now a drop-off location for the people crossing the border into Texas. Again, people crossing the border, it's another way to say illegal immigrants. They don't want to say it because they're woke, but that's exactly what it is. If you wouldn't be so mad about it if, you didn't just peddle this crap too.
And Adams is throwing a hissy fit over, what is it, 5,000? Between 5 and 7,000?
Yeah, millions of people, but yeah.
In New York?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it can't be that.
Yeah.
It can't be that big of a.
And the
big of a deal.
most recent tiffy is that Abbott has sent letters to Bowser.
I'm gonna stop you. Tiffy's not a word.
Tiffy?
Tiffy's not a word.
What Tizzy?
Tizzy, right? Or tiff. Tiff is a word. Tizzy's a word. Tiffy's not a word.
Well,
Tiffy is.
This is how
Tiffy
stupid it is. I made it up for him.
Is a pet name for a woman named Tiffany.
Oh,
that's what.
Well, he's kind of being a woman.
He's kind of being a Tiffany.
Yeah. Anyways,
what did he actually say? Right.
He invited them out and said, if you think it's so bad in your city and it's a big problem, please come down to the border and see what we're talking about. Maybe we can actually get on board with this and align. And they threw up a middle finger. They pretended to be super woke while also still complaining about illegal immigrants. And they said, you're just doing it for a photo op.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're just doing it for. You just want us at the border to do a photo op. A New Yorker is criticizing somebody to go to the border to do a photo op. Do the name Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ring any bells?
No.
White coat, a single tear draped from her eye. I'm pretty sure it was just sweat, but it was arranged to look like a tear as she looks out upon the border at all of the migrant camps.
All the parking lot.
Because it's a crisis.
Only when a Republican's involved.
And now a Republican says, hey, we're actually inviting you. Come see what's going on. It's because
the news won't report it.
Yeah. And they're saying, no, you just want a photo op.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and there's some of these people who also work with the groups. If you don't know, New York is a stupid city and a stupid town as well.
It's a great place to visit for a day.
Maybe with a bulletproof vest on. Don't go to the subways. Yeah. It looks bad.
That's right.
New York has a right to shelter state, which is a woke way of saying if you're homeless, we have to put you somewhere despite you giving nothing to us to actually pay for that. And they're being kind of mad because they're running out of room. Well, maybe that high smelling your own fart idea, say, hey, how about we just actually make people contribute? Well, we can't. We can't do that. You literally are all about taxes, but except for this one.
Okay. A right to shelter.
Yeah.
You do not have a right to shelter.
No, you don't.
If you can build one and it's your property, you have a right to that shelter.
Well, anyway. There's a guy who's the executive director of the New York Immigration Coalition. Good golly, you give it to anybody, any position.
Yeah.
He is claiming that Abbott is a cold-hearted, publicity-seeking bigot. Based on what?
But he's my.
How is he a bigot?
He's my cold-hearted publicity.
Is he a bigot because you assume these people are Mexican? Fun fact: Abbott's married to a Mexican.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. People forget that fact. She's literally Hispanic, and she's actually Mexican Hispanic.
It's kind of like Clarence Thomas. People forget that Clarence Thomas is
married to a white lady.
He's in an interracial marriage. Yeah. They're like, they're coming for interracial marriage, and Clarence Thomas is like, what?
No.
Anyway.
But yeah, it's just BS. They say it's shamelessly exploiting these migrants. legal immigrants. Again, I keep having to correct them. Human beings who have endured immense suffering in their home country. Really? Proof, because hardly any of these are actually asylum seekers. They're just saying, hey, there's some money up there. There's not real much money here. Let's go. That's not a reason. I'm sorry it sucks for you, but there's plenty of people in America that are out in their luck and don't have money. They don't move here and go to Canada.
Why have you ever? So it's
You know
crazy
why?
when you talk. What's that?
Canada has actual border patrol. That's why.
Yeah. And because they go to Canada and they go, oh no, senor, I want to go. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Take me back to Mexico.
Yeah. It's too cold.
It's too cold. I don't like it.
More frio.
They don't let you say what you want to say. They have the man with the beaver hats. They come and they take you away for saying you don't like Trudeau.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
That was.
And we're kicked off.
That was insensitive. I apologize.
Nick actually knows Spanish. I think you get away with it.
I do, yeah. I actually do speak Spanish, so I get away with it. But yeah, I'm sorry, Wojcicki. That's please don't ban us forever. We'll probably ban forever.
Yeah.
We just got back. It's the first day on YouTube. But what I don't understand is if people are suffering so badly, in Mexico, why doesn't the United States, as an initiative, send aid to Mexico? Right? Why don't we attempt to buoy them up instead of having them all come here, right? That would be the better thing.
No.
Why?
I don't know if you realize this, Nick. Mexico is not really known for their government control.
Yes, I know.
So the aid you're giving is kind of like the aid we secretly gave to Pakistan or Afghanistan. It's like, oh, we're giving it to the Taliban.
Okay.
They're totally trustworthy.
I'm not speaking from a reasoned perspective. I'm thinking from the perspective of a leftist, right?
Yeah.
Where they say, "Oh, they're suffering so much." Then I say, "Why? Then why allow them to come here? Why not attempt to buoy them where they are?" Right?
Because they want to pretend to have.
Answer.
Because this is the thing with Mayor Eric Adams. You want to pretend to be very, very inviting and look at me, not the bigot. I'm the nice one. And then you start seeing your front yard like, well, you weren't supposed to come in my front yard. I was supposed to be able to say it's great there.
Yeah, it's great.
Not here.
Over there where it's 103.
Why don't we welcome all the homeless? That's fantastic. Wait, they're coming to my gated community? Hold on. Wait. What's the difference?
Yeah.
I was cool in the slums over there in the apartments, not over here in my gated community. What's going on here?
By the way, it's still really hot here in Texas.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's still 100 degrees outside right now.
Yep,
it's 9. It's what 9:44.
It's nighttime. Yeah, it's nighttime and it's hot.
Yeah,
but friends, this is a crazy moment.
And I'm just glad that Abbott did it. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. I'm just really glad that Abbott's like challenging them, and they of course can't actually do anything.
So you're glad that Abbott did something? Have you changed your mind?
No.
About our glorious governor, Greg Abbott?
No, I think he does some good things.
Man.
I've always supported him on Operation Lone Star.
Yeah, I will tell you this. If Greg Abbott and Eric Adams got into a fight, Greg Abbott would roll over that dude.
I think so.
It's crazy.
I really think so.
My money would be on Abbott 100% of the time. Right?
Yep.
But you know what? It's a good reason to get out of the state of Texas. A good reason that people might want to flee the state of Texas. There aren't many.
Yeah.
But one of them is a gentleman by the name of Mark Cuban.
The Cube.
The Cubes needs to get out of my state. First of all, I hate basketball. I don't like watching basketball. I don't like playing basketball. I don't find basketball interesting or fun in any way. So if the Dallas Mavericks, now respect to Dirk, right? Everybody loves Dirk, okay? But Dirk is retired. He's not there anymore.
Is this because you're not good at basketball?
I'm also not good at basketball.
So that seems like a little bias there, man.
And now we got this new kid, Luka. But he's not. I mean, he's fine. He's good, but he's not Dirk.
How funny is some of the better players that the Mavericks get aren't from America. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we know how to pick them out of different countries here, baby.
Yeah, we know how to pluck.
But he has a green card, so he's fine.
But this is the thing. I would be fine. Dirk's retired. I don't really know much about this Luka kid. I'd be fine if we just did away with the Dallas Mavericks entirely and got Mark Cuban out of our state because he's got.
I know a lot of people that are mad at you already.
He's got these crazy ideas.
I don't think he's that crazy.
And he's just a weird guy. He's like Bill Gates, but he likes basketball.
Yeah.
Right? He's got all these weird theories about population control and all this nuttiness. And he kicked people out of the American Airlines Center for not wearing a mask long enough, stuff like this. And he won't let people in if they have flags of Hong Kong and stuff. I'm like,
you mean Taiwan?
No, I mean Hong Kong. He actually kicked a guy out of American Airlines Center for having a Hong Kong. This was before China conquered Hong Kong.
Ah.
But yeah, I'm assuming Taiwan flag would be
And
the
they
same
won't talk
thing.
crap about China. I wonder why.
He's a Chinese shill. Get him out of my state. I think he's weird.
Well, why are you actually so mad? It seems like you're just picking this out of nowhere. Come on.
No, I'm not picking this out of nowhere. Because you know what I'm about to talk about. The dude wants to build Jurassic Park in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not. And at first, okay, when I read the headline, it says, and I'll go ahead and read it. Mark Cuban wants to turn Texas small town to be bought into Jurassic Park.
That he bought.
That he bought, right? Into Jurassic Park. When I read that, I was like, okay, the Cubes might be forgiven. If we're going to have actual Jurassic Park, right? Like with Laura Dern and Sam Neill and all these guys it's Laura Dern, yeah. Laura Dern and Sam Neill, these guys are going to be coming.
Talk to my sister,
they're going to be
she knows
fighting.
that.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting T-Rexes and doing all this crazy stuff. And there's going to be actual living dinosaurs walking around. Yeah, dude, I am down. Let's do that. Let's go get the mosquito and the amber fossil and let's make this thing work. But that's not what he wants to do. He wants to turn an entire town into basically a dinosaur-themed Chuck E. Cheese.
Which is awesome.
He wants to have a bunch of animatronic dinosaurs walking around doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's not even cool AI dinosaurs. It's legitimately like a theme park ride, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Chuck E. Cheese style stuff.
It's awesome.
It's not awesome.
He bought he bought the city of Mustang, probably for less than $2 million.
Which is not a city; it's just a plot of land.
Yeah, the last open business it had was a strip club that ended up closing because someone got murdered. If you didn't know, he did this last year. He
bought the land that used to be Mustang.
Right, it's still Mustang. He actually has a buddy who he had this from the Drew Barrymore show. Didn't even know it's a show. Where he has one of his buddies is the mayor, and basically just his job is to keep it clean. That's his whole job. Well, he had a guy come on Shark Tank that has these animatronic little dinosaurs, and he thought, let's do that. Let's make this town this. And I thought this was the coolest thing ever. He wants to kind of name it Dinosaur Texas, but he admits it's probably a long shot. However, I don't know how much of a long shot if no one lives there. So I think you should totally change it to Dinosaur Texas. And here's my issue with you, Nick.
What?
We were at the cigar shop last night, weren't we?
We were.
What cigar did you buy?
I bought a Belas Artes Maduro.
And if I would have told you to buy the cigars that I like, what would you have told me? And that's all you can smoke tonight.
The cigars that you like?
Yeah.
I'd probably say yeah. Now because you actually have some variety in your collection.
Let's just go ahead and put this out. What if it's only say this one Arturo Fuente, this one right here, this is it. That's all you can smoke. And you're like, I actually wanted to try this one. I'm like, no, you have to get this one. What would you have told me?
I say no.
Oh, why? Why do I have no ability to tell you that?
Because you smoke dumb.
But why do not
icky cigars?
Why do I not have the ability to tell you that?
Because you smoke icky cigars, and I don't smoke icky cigars.
Well, what's in your back pocket?
In my back pocket?
Yeah.
I don't know, like
$5,000? No. Sure.
I don't know.
It's your wallet, isn't it?
Yes, it's my wallet.
Whose wallet is that? Is it yours?
It's my wallet.
Oh, so I'm going to tell you how to spend your money?
No.
So you're going to tell the guy who bought the land his own self to how he's going to do it?
It's not a matter of you can spend your money however you want to.
Obviously not, because you have an issue with it.
I would just rather you do it out of my state.
Why?
That's my clarification.
It's literally a no-name town anymore.
Because you're turning my beloved state of Texas into a place that just has
one inky little town.
Dinosaur Disney World. It's so
awesome is that?
And hokey and weird.
And
I really
whatever, boomer, get out of here.
I want to be a part of that episode. I really do need to at least go watch the clip from that episode of Shark Tank where Mark Cuban is just sitting there and they got this guy pitching the animatronics and everyone's like, yeah, I'm out.
He's going, hold on.
And Cuban's going, okay, hear me out. I bought a town.
You think your product can go in that town?
Let's make this town Jurassic Park. Jurassic Cubes.
I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool idea.
If it happens, I'll roll my eyes and groan and move on with my life. It's really not a hill.
Shocker.
It's really not a hill worth dying on.
No, it's not.
Mark Cuban,
I just had to
you're
poke at
weird.
you.
I don't like you, and you got more money than sense. Go live elsewhere and continue to buy things from Texas. That's what I'd rather you do. Friends, the last thing we're going to leave you with tonight, because I know that I know that we've gone a while over time, but it's our first time back on video, and
So deal with it.
We're celebrating, exactly. And I really want to hear James talk about this next story.
No.
So in the town of Ranger, Texas, which if you head east out of DFW, take you about 2.5 hours, maybe you'll probably get to Ranger, Texas.
Possibly,
if you're James, it'll get you there in 30 minutes.
Yep.
But it's just about an hour hour east of Abilene, a town called Ranger, Texas. They have a college there where they have
called Ranger Community College.
Called Ranger Community
College.
College.
Shock you.
Where they have a cheerleading squad, and on that cheerleading squad is a
camp.
A cheerleading camp, right? Is a gentleman who wears makeup and has a long wig and calls himself Avery Chanel Medlock, right? Which is okay.
Come on.
Here's the thing about transgender people, and I not all transgender people do this, granted, but a good portion of you do. Can you just come up with a normal name?
No.
Can you come up with a normal name? Right, my name is Avery Chanel.
Dude, it's not. No, you don't.
No, you're not. You're not Avery Chanel.
You don't. Right? You don't do that because you're already out of your mind. You might as well have it out of your mind name.
Yeah, and so Avery Chanel
to match
Medlock,
your weird ideas.
who is 25 and out of community college, which, by the way, got no problem with a 25-year-old going to community college. If you're 25 and you want to go improve yourself by getting your degree, good for you. So I'm not judging him for being at school, but he's 25 and he's on this he's at this cheerleading camp with girls, right? Teenage girls.
Yep.
Right? You're talking 17, 18-year-old teenage girls. Well, it's not really that big of a deal until something like this happens. And I'm going to go ahead and let James tell you what exactly happened.
Yeah, so apparently according to the man,
mm-hmm.
he claims that another person was mad that he did not buy her vape. I don't see how that's a huge deal, but then an altercation happens. Mm-hmm. Well, the altercation ended with this dude choking out a 17-year-old girl. The door's locked. No one can get in. Oh, that's fine. And what he says is, we were just joking. And we talked about this last night. The minute you start choking me, for real, joke's over.
Yeah, the minute you put your hands, even if you're not exerting a ton of force, the minute you put your hands around my neck, no, we're done.
No, like I was like, if I do like this, you're like,
don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
See, even Nixie's
don't like that.
Yeah,
that's bad. Don't do that. I don't like that at all. Not even a little bit.
Exactly. So if I actually continue when you said stop, you probably can at least pop me a little bit, and I keep going. You're going to actually pop me.
That's
correct?
True. That's why we don't live stream.
Yeah, fight exactly. That's true. Fight is on.
Yeah.
So there's no sense of, I've never heard of a joke. I have been in football locker rooms, baseball locker rooms, basketball locker rooms, all kinds of locker rooms. And I've seen it. The minute choke happens, fight's on.
Yeah.
It's no longer buddy-buddy. I don't care. You may shake hands later, but during that time, you were going.
Let's be clear about something. This is a good litmus test. If you see somebody who is smaller and weaker than you, and you say, what I am about to do, were I doing it to a person of equal size and strength, would instigate a fight, I shouldn't do that thing.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that because that is assault.
Yeah. And the father was all PO'd about it because he's like, this is my teenage daughter. Because he wasn't going. See, he's trying to get me to say he's a she. Because or even the articles keep going, she. No, dude. And the father goes, why was this dude even at this is a cheerleading camp. This is not them going to the college. This was a cheerleading camp. So he wasn't going to community college. He was at the camp for teenage girls and somehow was allowed to come in. I don't get it, but whatever. So what the F's that about? That makes no sense. And the father, of course, is irritated. And he's like, I'm going to do more charges if I could get my hands on him. And like, you can't say that, sir. Really? Because that dude just choked out my teenage daughter.
The second you choke out my daughter, your pronouns don't matter to me anymore.
No.
And I'm looking at this story. This story's by the New York Post again. Link will be in the description. Check it out for yourself.
Oh my gosh.
These pictures,
so much makeup.
These pictures look photoshopped. Like I'm like, there's no way they take this it's like this really sort of dolled up Barbie looking head on the body of this big hulking muscular
just tatted up.
Yeah, tatted
up. You can see his pecs right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm going, there's no like.
Well, the thing is too, his face basically looks like Mrs. Doubtfire when he put his face in the cake.
Yep.
And they came out, I was like, hello. I was like, yeah, it's that, but tan. That's basically how he looks.
It's rough. It's
and
real
you can
rough.
just tell it's just so fake. like, who are you convincing? You're not. You're just not. And of course, he says like, well, she was making what was it? Mean comments against me. Like, well, you still have a penis. Is it false?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
why are you mad then? It's not false.
I don't care what somebody said. I don't care what they said to you. Any mean comment or like that. You don't put your hands on people.
No.
Especially when that person is a 17-year-old girl and you look like this picture.
And you're an adult male.
Because when you got your hands around my neck, I don't care what your face looks like, okay? Your arms are gigantic and you snap that little girl like a twig. Yeah. The point is, she was kicked off. See, I did it too. He was kicked off the...
that's exactly what they want you to do.
He was kicked off the cheerleading squad. He's going to sue the school. And I hope the school retaliates and countersues him into third world poverty.
Right now, yes, it's just a simple $500 fine. I'm like, oh, we're gonna up this ante. We're gonna go full extent here.
Yeah, it's rough. The point is, I mean, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're 25.
Come on, man.
You're 25 years old. You're on a cheerleading squad. I mean, even if this was a 25,
you're 25. Playing dress up's over.
Even if he's like a female, right? Even if this was a woman who's 25 years old at a camp competing with 17-year-olds.
Why?
No reason.
You're an adult.
And the fact that you're a dude is just adding icing onto the cake.
Yeah.
Anyway, friends, it has been an absolute blast talking with you guys. An absolute blast being back on camera, engaging with you guys in the way that we have really always wanted to do and really enjoy. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe and share this stuff. It really does help us out, especially with this new launch. But remember,
Nick, hold on before we stop. And remember to share.
And remember to share.
Yeah,
I did say share.
Again, I zoned out. I'm sorry.
Right. Don't be like James. Be smart. Be the stars at night. Be big and bright. We'll see you next week.